Alright, what's going on YouTube? Today I got a story time for you guys, and this is the story of how I cut my toe open and I ended up having to get stitches because of a water park. Alright, and let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I believe this starts in the summer of 2022, and everything was kind of opening back up from COVID, and I was, alright. Yeah, I was at the water park with my friend, and I'm not gonna say the water park's name because I don't want to dox my location, but um, me and my friend, we were at the top of like this tower that has like water slides on it, and I'll show on screen what it looks like because I'm not gonna be able to describe this at all. But me and my friend used to mess around on these slides and stuff. You shouldn't be like us. We were probably annoying to the staff, but to be honest, we were kind of older than all the staff because the staff was like 16, and like some people just some lifeguards you could just tell like wouldn't be able to save a life if it came down to it. But that's not the point. So we're messing around in these water slides, and eventually, like one day, my friend, he just gets this idea to. All right, he wanted to go down these slides without a tube. All right, so these are slides that require tubes, and it's a double tube. One person gets in the front, one person gets in the back. So his idea is just to throw the tube either down the slide or just completely drop it and run and get on the slide and go. All right, so there's like a line and stuff. There's a lifeguard at the top, moderating it all. And so this genius's idea is to just, let's just throw the tube away and just go down, because what we would used to do is ride the tube down, and then when we're out of sight of like the lifeguard, because it's like an open slide, we would jump out and kind of just like wait in the slide, and it was wide enough where we could get up on the wall, and people coming people coming down would like pass us. We wouldn't even touch them, and we would like wave at them. And yeah, I have a bunch of other stories from this place I could tell, but right now we're gonna focus on this one. And so, anyways, yeah, at the time, I didn't think of anything of it. I was like, all right, let's just do it, bro. Let's just go for it. So, we wait in line, we grab the tube and all that. So we get up to the top. We're finally about to do it. All right, there's a little bit of adrenaline, not really, because I mean, the worst that happens, we have to leave the water park, or so I thought. I guess, yeah. So I thought. So, anyways, yeah, this is what the slide looks like. All right, so this is pretty much exactly what it looked like, except this slide was white and the one over on the right was also closed, but it was like a different color. So we're about to go on this one on the left right here, and you see that mat in the water. The slide we were going on had like a mat looks almost exactly the same except without those hole looking things, and it was black. And I thought it was just like a heavy mat, and it's basically there so it doesn't make it super slippery, so you can kind of like, because you have to get in the tube and pretty much push yourself down. But so at the slide we're at, there's a mat, and uh, unknown to us, the mat actually has nails, like holding it down. I thought it was just a heavy mat, so it'd stay there. Maybe I'm stupid or something, but I also still believe it's not my fault because it has nails, whatever. But the nail is actually sticking up, which we don't know at the time. One of the nails at the bottom actually, which is I'll talk about that later. So anyway, yeah, I see him. He does it. He just wings it, right? He just goes for it. He jumps over like the little ledge to get on the thing. He's running. He just jumps down like head first. Like it's just so funny. All right. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'm not about to stand up here and look like an idiot. Even though I'm gonna look like an idiot if I follow him, but I follow him anyway. I'm running. All right. And right before like I like jump down, I get about midway, halfway through the mat, and then like I kick something, and I was like, what the heck? Like, what did I just hit my toe on? And then I'm like, I start going down the slide, and I didn't think anything of it. Like I felt like I just like stubbed my toe. I was like, dang, that hurt a little bit, but like it really didn't hurt that bad. But anyways, I'm going like halfway down the slide. It's a white slide, so it's really easy to see. The water's clear, chlorine. I see like a little bit of red, like blood in the water, and I was at first I was like, what the heck is that? Like, is it like what's wrong with this water? And then I noticed it was like blood, and my toe was still hurting a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is like weird. Okay, and then like I look at my toe, and I was like, oh my god, it was like cut open completely. I have a picture. If enough people ask, I'll show the picture. I probably couldn't even show it on YouTube, to be honest. It's kind of like bad. It was a deep cut, and it kind of just looked like a flab of my toe, like the skin, the flesh was like ripped away from the top part. It was I don't know. It was bad. And so then you know, like I saw my toe and it's like cut open, and somehow I didn't start freaking out. I was like laughing. I was like laughing, and I told my friend, I was like, "Yo, like I just cut my toe open," And he was like, shut up, idiot. Like, well, because like that's just something you wouldn't expect or whatever. And then I was like, no, bro, I'm being for real. And he's like, are you serious? And then I'm like, yeah. And then so we get to the bottom, and like I'm in pain, and I'm not crying or anything, but I'm in like a little bit of pain. But mostly, I guess I just kind of felt loopy, but I wasn't like acting loopy. I was just kind of making jokes, and I was just like, like how did this happen? So we get to the bottom, and the lifeguard at the bottom is like, so we came down without a tube. All right, forgot to mention that we came down without a tube. You're supposed to be in a tube. The lifeguard's like, if you guys do that again, you're getting kicked out. You can't be doing that. Like what happened? And we told her like, forget that. Like, look at my foot. And like I show her the toe, and she's like, oh my god, like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. Like, look at my toe. Like, I'm gonna die. I'm bleeding out. I'm gonna die. And she was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, so they carry cones around, right? And they have like whistles. I was like, put your cone up. Like, God, like, it was just funny, right? Because they're supposed to be trained and stuff. They're supposed to be, kind of know what to do in these situations. Because at this water park, it low key happened a lot. A lot of people got hurt. We've always see, fire trucks, ambulance, like rushing to this place and then leaving to like go to a hospital. It was kind of bad. Yeah, I don't know how they haven't gotten sued yet. I probably couldn't sue because I broke the rules, but the nail was sticking up anyway, so that realistically could have got anyone. It could have popped a tube. It could have cut somebody. That was a sticking up nail. There was like just because it happened to be me when I was running down and I kicked it, that could have still been another person's like I don't know like heel or something because their heels like hang off the end of the tube. Anyways, to get back where we were, so yeah, like I told this girl how to do her job. I was sitting at the very bottom of the slide at this point, and there was like a little ledge thing I could sit on. So I was sitting there, and I was like, I had my toe like on my other what is it called? I had it on like on my thigh. You know what I mean? So we were just looking at it. My friend's like standing there. He's like, "Dang, dude, like, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I'm good. Just like I just feel a little lightheaded because at this point I was like losing blood and stuff. You couldn't really tell because all the water was like washing it away. I don't think they shut down the slide. They probably should have like de-infected it. But yeah, this water park's a little like sketch. But anyways, so yeah, eventually probably after like 5 minutes, a manager gets over there, and I'm like, look, and like I just show her my toe, and she's like, oh my god, like I'll call the ER person or whatever. So yeah, they have like a little nurse person there. She comes. She's like a 20-year-old girl. She's like kind of young, so she comes, and she was like, "Oh my god, all right." So like she brought a wheelchair. I sat down. She wheeled me back to her little office thing, like little doctor's room. My friend like followed. He came in, and at this point, no one's really concerned, all right, about us going down without the tube. Thankfully, nobody's really thinking about any. They're just like, "Oh my god, this kid needs help." Um, so I think they might have asked like one time like what happened. I was just kind of like I don't know. I kicked something and like this just happened. Like it just kicked something. They're like okay, well we'll like take care of you and stuff. Like do you have anyone you can call? And so yeah, I called my grandma to come, or actually no, I called like my mom and my dad. I called like everyone. Sorry, I'm like jumping all over the place. So yeah, we get rolled into this room. The manager eventually just leaves. She's just like call somebody, just get yourself picked up and stuff. Our nurse here will take care of you. And so yeah, while the nurse is like doing stuff, she's like looking. She's like, it's like kind of bad, like like. And I was like, yeah, like, my toes like hanging open. And she was just like, okay, well, I'll kind of like mess with it and stuff. So she like cleans it or whatever. She has this water, and then she's like wrapping it up, all that. Like like not a band aid, but it's kind of like a band aid type deal. And so while this is happening, I'm like calling my family and stuff, telling them everyone's like at work though, except for my one grandma. She's not at work, and she comes, picks me up. She drops what she's doing. She picks me up, and I get it. So she drives there. I get rolled out to her on a wheelchair, and this nurse is like, "Is this her right here or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." And so I get in. My friend ends up just driving home. Uh, he's just like, "Sorry, bro. Like, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "It's all good." And so I get in my grandma's car, and she just takes me to like the emergency room, like an ER, like that's like down the street, literally down the street. And so we're there. Honestly, it wasn't that long of a wait. It was like 10 minutes, but we're waiting. And my grandma was like, "Are you okay? Like, how do you feel? All right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just a little lightheaded." Like, and yeah, this whole time I was kind of just thinking like, why doesn't my toe really hurt? I don't know if it went numb or Like, don't get me wrong, it definitely it hurt. It felt like I stubbed it, but it kind of just, that's all it felt like. It felt like I stubbed it, and then it was a little, I don't know, like it stung sometimes when they would try to clean it or put this like water in it to clean it or mess around with it, but it wasn't that bad. But it definitely looked terrible. So, anyways, we're waiting in this emergency room. Eventually they get us in. It really wasn't that long. I'd say like 5 to 10 minutes. It didn't feel like a long time, and I'm like dripping wet because I just came back from the water park. So we go into this room with this nurse. It's like an Indian doctor. I'm not saying that. Just I'm just describing her. All right, it was a girl, and she like pokes at it a few times. She cleans it because that's all she like knew how to do. All right, she's supposed to be this like emergency doctor. Okay, I got pissed off because she like cleaned it like once or twice or like then a third time, and I was just like, all right, yeah, like it hurt every time she was just spraying like this water in there. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna clean it," and like she just like kept saying that, and like she cleaned it like probably 10 times. She just squirted it in there like 10 times. I was like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" Because you're just like, like I don't know, like. And so yeah, I don't know. This doctor kind of just cleaned it a lot, kind of messed with it, touched it. She also had to rip off the bandages that doctor at the water park put on, or not the doctor, the nurse or whatever. She wasn't even like a nurse. She was just kind of like a medical training student, and that place needed it, so she got hired. But she low-key did a better job. She cleaned it already. She bandaged it up, and I felt better after that. This doctor, everything she did hurt. She touched it, messed around. She kind of just like moved it around, and she was like, I don't know, like there's like a white thing I see. I can't really tell if that's a bone or, So it's super unsettling. Like she just, it just feels like she has no clue what she's doing. It's supposed to be like an emergency. Like people come in all the time. Like an emergency is like, oh, I just like cut my arm off. Like I need some help, and I don't know what this doctor would do. She'd be like, "Yeah, that does look pretty bad. You should probably seek some medical help because I actually have not. I'm not licensed at all. I don't know what I'm doing. I just got the job and I kind of just stand around. That's how I feel like happens at the daily because she's like looking at my toes. She's like, all right, like you're screwed. You're fucked. Like that's how I feel. Like what she's saying. So, anyways, you know, eventually she just comes out. She's like, yeah, I can't do this, and my grandma was actually a nurse, and she was like, what? Like, and she's like, I can't really do this, but I can recommend going to like Cook's Children or Cook Hospital or whatever. I don't remember, but like emergency, because they're like the real deal. All right, so my grandma's just like, all right, what? This is ridiculous. She's like in the nicest way possible. She's kind of a Karen, but I love her. So yeah, after sitting in that room and getting messed with for what felt like ages, and then she finally comes out. She's just like, "Yeah, I can't like help you." So we get in the car, and then we have to drive to this other hospital. My dad eventually he gets off work or whatever. He actually meets us at the hospital, and my grandma leaves. She's like, "Bye, see you," whatever. You like all that jumbo mumbo lover stuff. What am I saying, bro? Like, I say goodbye to my grandma. She leaves. My dad's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right, whatever." So we go inside, we wait, and we were waiting. It felt like I don't know forever, like maybe 30 minutes an hour. It's like freezing. I'm still a little cold. I'm damp from the pool because I was like wet. I'm just sitting in there. Nobody's like coming to check. It's emergency. I guess I guess that's just how every hospital is. Um, if it's like an emergency, you're really like not gonna get the emergency attention you need. I mean, I know mine wasn't that big of a deal, but just think about anyone else who comes in. It doesn't make a urgent like news to the hospital that like, oh, I just like severed my leg off. Like no one, I just feel like no one's gonna. They're just gonna be like, all right, yeah, your legs detached from your body. All right, just sit there. We'll call you, and then you can come walk to us. And then because that's what they did to me, all right. But I'll tell you that in a second. So we're waiting. It takes forever. Eventually, a guy's we're signed in and all that. Someone calls for me. He's like, says my name. So we go into another waiting room, and he's like, all right, what happened or whatever. And I just show him. I'm like, yeah, I cut my toe open. He was like, oh, all right, okay. Here's a napkin. He he gave me a napkin. All right, this guy, he's not the doctor, but he gave me a napkin. He's like, I'll be back with something like more professional. He's like, you just put your toe on that or put it over your. That's literally what he said. Oh my god. So he gives me a napkin. All right, I like put my toe on it, so I don't have to put my toe on the dirty floor because I don't have a shoe on because I can't put a shoe on, and I think I'm barefoot on both feet. And so yeah, I sit there with my toe on top of a napkin. It wasn't really bleeding anymore at this point, I don't think, so it wasn't that bad. The room's cold. It just you I could feel the flesh part that was like hanging down. I could feel it like getting colder and stiff because it was like cold in the room, and it was gross. But anyways, yeah, just sitting there talking with my dad for a little bit. Um, he asked how it happens and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, like I don't know, I kicked a nail or something. And he's like, yeah, that's weird. They shouldn't have that. And I'm like, to be honest, they shouldn't. They shouldn't have that on that slide. Anyways, it felt like ages, like 30 minutes. Finally, somebody comes back. All right, and it's not the same guy. Okay, that guy who said he'd be back with something more professional never came back. So I was just sitting there, an open wound, exposed to all the bacteria in the air and stuff. COVID was like 2 years ago at that point. You never know what could have happened. I could have got like a new type of COVID like strand in my toe because it's on the floor. Everybody walks. But anyways, so I don't know. Like I'm getting off topic. So this new guy, he's like, all right, follow me, and I had to walk there. All right, and I didn't like say this, but every time I was like moving, I had someone like helping me because I just didn't want to walk on that foot at all. It hurt if I did. I was like leaning on people's shoulders and stuff, like from point A to point B. At this point, the doc they don't care, right? So my dad's just like helping me out. I would have thought they had like a wheelchair or something, but no, I just had to walk with the open wound on my foot. It just, it kind of felt like they didn't care about you at all. Anyways, we're like walking past these other patients that are literally one curtain away from me. Curtain, 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 patient, patient, patient. These people like they look like they might have the flu. Or one guy, his shin was bleeding. He had like a little bit of blood coming down from his shin. It honestly just looked like he got like a kind of a cat scratch. It just My dad said that too. He was just like, looked like that guy got like scratched by a cat. Like, why is he here? I'm like, yeah, like my toe's literally hanging open. But anyways, maybe we're just ignorant. I don't know. We sit. About 10 minutes later, the doctor comes and he's like, all right, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing, man? And I'm just like, I'm all right. Like, my foot you cut open or whatever. He's like, oh, let me see what we're looking with. Or he said, let me see what we're working with. And so I show him. I like lift my foot up, and he sees it, and his reaction is, "Yeesh! Oh my god! Like, are you gonna see a doctor with about that? That's terrible." I'm like, "Oh my god! All right." So he's like, "All right, I'll be right back." And his office is like in front of me, so I see him go and sit down on a computer, and he's just kind of talking, sipping his coffee, like with this girl next to him. And I'm just like, "What just happened?" Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how any of it works. I'm just stupid. But he comes back like 20 minutes later. He's just like, all right, man, I'll be with you like shortly, all right? And then just like, don't worry, just hang in there. And like, he just sits on his computer again, and then he goes talks to somebody else. Then he comes back to me. He's like got his little kit with him. He's like, all right, I just finished searching up how to do this. Okay, you're gonna need stitches for sure. Like I just searched up like you're gonna need stitches, and I was like, I couldn't tell if he was joking or if he was being dead serious. And that's like the scary part because I would initially, if somebody said this stuff, it could have been a joke. But when he saw it, his reaction was like, "Yeesh!" Like, oh, are you okay? Like, oh my god! Like, I've never seen this. It's like his reaction. It felt like, even though it really wasn't that bad, it was bad. Don't get me wrong. Definitely needed attention. But I can't believe it, bro. The whole thing felt like a dream. Because first I'm like sitting there like, did I really just like cut my toe open? And then every doctor's reaction is like, I can't do this. Like, oh my god, like you need to see a real doctor. I don't know what I'm doing. Like that's exactly how it felt. I don't know. So, anyways, up until this point, I really wasn't in a bad mood. I was just kind of like annoyed. So yeah, at this point, I'm just pretty much annoyed at everything that's been going on. The day is just messed up. I haven't cried, but what this guy's about to do to me was like the worst pain I've ever felt. It felt like torture. Like I couldn't, bro. It was terrible. And so yeah, the guy he comes back, he's like, I just searched up on how to do this on YouTube or some shit, whatever. He's like, I just googled how to help you. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. You're not qualified. Anyways, so he has his kit, he brings it out. So he tells me you need stitches or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I figured. Um, what happened? So before he can do the stitches, I guess stitches like hurt like a bitch. So this guy, he gets out like a long needle, and he's like, yeah, I gotta dead the nerve first, or I gotta. This is what he said. He said I gotta dead the nerve. He's basically like making it numb. So you don't feel anything. Killing the pain receptors, whatever. So I'm just like, all right, whatever, bro. Like, do whatever you got to do. I thought he was gonna like rub some cream on it. This guy, he told me to like be. He told me he warned me. He was like, yeah, this is gonna hurt a little. I was like, all right. And so then it didn't feel like a shot. All right, he takes a needle, and in my open wound, he's stabbing it. All right, he takes the needle, he just like pushes it in, and then he finds a nerve, and then he like pokes it. I guess, which I should have realized he's probably a professional if he can find the nerves in my toe. He's probably searching up where the nerves were or something like that. Maybe I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So the first one, it like shocked me, and I was like, oh my god, I like I was tearing up, and then I was just sitting there gripping the bar, and I was like, oh my god, this is like terrible. Like it was the worst pain. It was such a sharp pain in my toe, so much worse than actually cutting it open. And I was like, oh my god, like that. Oh, that was bad. And then he was like, he said like, I don't know what he said, bro. He just kept going. There was like three more coming. He did it like 4 or 5 times, and each time was just worse than the last because I was already in like more and more pain, and I ended up crying, bro. I was just like, oh, like I was a little embarrassed, but it was bad. I was like, oh my god, like it was the worst pain I ever felt. It literally felt like torture, but I'm sure just torturing that hurts way worse than that. Anyways, where was I? So yeah, he deads the nerve. Worst pain I ever felt. I'm like crying, and then he moves on to the stitches, and I thought killing nerves was supposed to make it where I couldn't feel the stitches. I could feel everything, bro. I could still feel the stitches. All right, I it was probably a little more numb than it would have been because I couldn't like feel his finger like touching my foot and stuff sometimes. But just I could still feel those stitches going like in and out of my foot over and over, and then I don't know. After a good long 10, 15 minutes of just getting poked over and over in an open wound that already hurt a little, I was up. I had it, bro. I'd had it. I'm like, this just sucks. This is just shit. And like the guy's like, all right, you're all good, buddy. Like, he like told me how to take care of stitches and all that. Blah blah blah. The stitches didn't help. Eventually, I had to get them out like a week later. My toe was very much still like kind of open. Thanks to my nurse being a grandma, she kind of like figured. Yeah, she was like, yeah, usually like it kind of heals more than that, but she like helped, had the stuff, blah blah blah. I don't know. I had to basically, you had to very much take care of it on my own. Like the stitches, like honestly, I felt like I could have gone without them. But that was like what 2 years ago. I look at my toe. There's still a little bump there. But it doesn't feel bad or anything. So back to normal. It took a while to heal. If y'all want to see the picture, maybe I can. I don't think I can show it on YouTube. Maybe on X or something, and I could just link my. I think I might have to make an account for this YouTube channel to be honest. But yeah, it was bad. Like you can just see it like open, like an open wound basically. It was yeah. Anyways, I think that's about it. So yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I guess the moral of the story is just don't be an idiot. All right, just follow the rules. That's everywhere, bro. You should just follow the rules. Right, they're there for a reason. Granted, we had probably already done this like 100 times, and nothing's ever happened. And the one time something does happen, um, I feel like that was an issue that could have happened to anyone. All right, not because I was doing that. I mean, yeah, sure, like I shouldn't be running and doing that, but there also shouldn't be a slide or a nail sticking up in the middle of the slide. That just kind of seems stupid in any way you think about it. So maybe I'm just trying to cope. I don't know. Anyways, hope y'all have a good day. Yeah, that's it.